Hello everyone, I am Indravesh Devatia from DPSG Meerut Road, and I am here to take you through a beautiful poem written by W. Ross, and the name of the poem is The Snake Trying. Okay, let's talk about the snakes first. Now, do you know that out of some 3,000 species of snakes which are present in the entire world, only around 500 of them are venomous. Now, venomous, interesting. So that means a major chunk is non-venomous, but still we are scared of them. Now, do you know that there's a difference between poison and venom? Let us try to find it out. What is the difference between the poison and venom? Now, poison would be something which is taken or eaten or which can be inhaled, for example, a poisonous gas, whereas venom is injected in the body by a reptile, by an animal which is life-risking. So there is a difference between poison and venom. Venom is something which can be injected in your body, and for example, it can be injected by a venomous snake. Let us move ahead. The learning objective of today's lesson would be the learners will be able to understand the theme and the meaning of the given poem. Now, what do you understand by this term called theme? Now, if you watch a film, so there is a particular genre of that film. For example, you watched a film which is an action film. You watched a film which is a comedy. So you would say that I watched a film which was of action genre or action genre. You might also say that I watched a film which was of comedy genre. Now that genre which talks about the theme of the film, the main idea, the standing idea behind that film. So here also we will be able to identify the theme of the given poem and also the meaning. So the learners would be easily able to make the meaning out of the given poem. Let us now try to find about the poet more. Born in Canada, William Wrightson Eustace Ross was not only a poet but also a geophysicist. Now, this is an interesting fact. So W. Ross, this full name of this poet is William Wrightson Eustace Ross. Now it becomes really important to mention here. That Ross was not only a poet but also a geophysicist. Geophysicist is one who is involved in the study of Earth and its physical features. Now, that is why I am telling you that it's important. The reason is the poem which we are going to read, The Snake Trying. There are a lot of elements related to the nature. For example, he'd be talking about reeds, water, and the snake itself. So let's find out what is more there. He was born in June 1894 and passed away due to cancer in 1966. So he passed away from this world in 1966. Let us go and recite the poem. So as it is from your book Beehive, let us read the first two sentences. The snake trying. Most of us think of snakes as fearsome symbols of death. Fearsome which is terrifying, which is dangerous. But the snake in this poem is itself a victim. Pay attention to this last line. Let me read it again for you. But the snake in this poem is itself a victim. Here, a snake is not going to make someone its own victim. But the snake is here a victim itself. Let us recite this poem first and then we'll go line by line. The snake trying to escape the pursuing stick with sudden curvings of thin long body. How beautiful and graceful are his shapes. He glides through the water away from the stroke. Oh, let him go over the water into the reeds to hide without hurt. Small and green, he is harmless even to children. Along the sand he lay until observed and chased away. And now he vanishes in the ripples among the green slim reeds. Let me read this last line again for you. And now he vanishes in the ripples among the green slim reeds. Okay, now take out your magnifying glasses as we are going to decipher the meaning of this poem word by word. The snake trying to escape the pursuing stick, pursuing, which is following the snake. So when someone pursues you, that means you are being followed. So here the snake is being followed by a stick. That means that the snake is in danger, apparently. The snake trying to escape the pursuing stick with the sudden curvings of thin long body. Now it's very easy to imagine the body of a snake, a very thin one, and the way it moves on the ground. Remember, it's a reptile, and it will actually crawl on the ground. So the sudden curvings of thin long body. So the snake is actually trying to get away from that pursuing stick, which is after its life. And what is helping him to escape from that stick? The answer is that the movements, the sudden movements, the curvings of its body is helping the snake to get away from the pursuing stick, which is after its life. How beautiful and graceful are his shapes. Now the poet W.E. Ross, he thinks of the movements made by the snake to be very beautiful. They are graceful. Can you imagine a dancer, a classical dancer, who moves with grace? There are a lot of graceful moves in a classical dance. Similarly, the poet has actually talked about the movements made by the snake, and it has been compared with grace. The movement of the snake has been described to be very graceful. The way it moves shows its grace. He glides through the water away from the stroke. Stroke. What kind of stroke is being talked about here? The stroke about which the poet is speaking, about which the poet is writing, is actually that stroke by the pursuing stick. And why that stroke? So that the snake can be harmed, the snake can be killed. So the snake, what does it do? He glides through the water away from the stroke so that it can be safe. Oh, let him go over the water into the reeds to hide without hurt. Now here the poet is actually making an earnest request. It's a polite plea, and plea would be spelled as P-L-E-A. So the request is that the snake should be left unharmed. One must not hurt the snake as it is going on its own path. Let me read it again for you. Oh, let him go over the water into the reeds to hide without hurt. Without hurt. Let it go to the reeds. We'll come to this word reeds once more. So reeds is actually from the family of grass. So it's a slender plant with tiny leaves. I have a picture for you for reeds. We'll come to it later on. Oh, let him go. Now, by this line, it is very easy to decipher that the poet is actually addressing someone. Now, here is a very interesting fact for you. You must be aware of the idea of literary terms, literary devices. Now, here is a literary device for you. Can you guess it? Okay, let me help you. The literary term, the literary device present here is apostrophe. I repeat, apostrophe. A-P-O-S-T-R-O-P-H-E. Let me repeat the spelling for you. A-P-O-S-T-R-O-P-H-E. So whenever the poet or the person who's speaking in a particular literary text or a poem, and that speaker is addressing someone directly, that would be called apostrophe. Here, Ross, the poet, is saying, oh, let him go over the water into the reeds to hide without hurt. The poet is addressing someone, requesting someone directly, so that the snake can be left without getting hurt. Small and green, he is harmless even to children. So this is also one of the major characteristics of the snake seen by W.E. Ross. That small and green, he is harmless even to children. For sure, it's a non-venomous snake, and it won't even harm the children. So why do we want to kill it in the very first place? Along the sand he lay until observed and chased away. Along the sand he lay until observed and chased away. The snake is there. It is saying nothing to you. So why are you bothered by it? Why do you want to chase it away? And now he vanishes in the ripples among the green slim reeds. And now finally the motive of the poet has been met. Whatever the poet was wanting to happen has happened finally. And now he vanishes, disappears. The snake disappears in the ripples among the green slim reeds. Let us come to a picture. Okay, now this is a picture which perfectly describes the setting for a snake which can hide there. Now, as the poet has already talked about the green slim reeds. Now the green slim reeds, and also there's a water body here. So here the snake will find its humble abode, its place where it can stay safe. So whenever you see a snake next, beware, be careful, but it's not necessary to kill that. That's it for the day. Thank you so much.